in the Scarlet Letter. Actually, we just found out about the badge of shame and the black as color from the ever. Some background about the author. He was born in July 4th in 1804 in Salem, and one of his ancestors was judged during the Salem witch trials where Mistress Higgin was killed. Yeah. He graduated in college in 1825, was already a student, and in college ancient languages were like very important. So he developed big interest in classical languages, and so he published in 1852 a novel, a wonder book for girls and boys, with retelling Greek myths and about Perseus and Medusa. And the second book was almost the same, Tangled with Tales for boys and girls, including retellings of Theseus and the Minotaur. The badge of shame. It's an important part in the novel. It's a public symbol for humiliation, used as punishment for any kind of crimes. Synonyms are mark of shame or stigma. Stigma comes from Greek, and then Latin. Greek is all over Latin. And refer to a kind of tattoo mark. Which was cut or burned into the skin to make visible that those people were criminals or slaves or traitors. Badge of shame in Rome. Romans used togas, but then it was like what they wore. Weird. War. And then they changed it to stolas, and which is the same, but and then prostitutes had to wear these togas to make them visible and to condemn them. Yes. Also, slaves were branded with FUG, fug, for fugitivos, if someone tried to flee too often. Or robbers were branded with an F for fur, which means robber. And this is considered the first stigmatization in form of a letter. Badge of shame in the Bible. I don't know, do you know the story about Cain and Abel? That God asked them to make him, to give him what they had to offer, and Cain gave him a large amount, but he was very rich and he didn't give his best things, but just like he wanted to keep the best things for himself. And Abel was poor and he gave him the little best what he had, and then Cain was angry that God would love Abel more than himself, so he killed him. And God was very angry and put a mark on Cain's forehead and distinguished him as a murderer. Interesting is that Cain is referred as the evil one in the Bible, and early Christians interpreted the lines in the Bible as or the mark of shame as black skin. So we see the black for sin and for evil. And the Bible also says that Abel was bright as the light, so pure, and but the murderer Cain was dark as the darkness. So we see the dark. And in the Scarlet Letter, the A has as punishment for sin, adultery. It's for humiliating her in the society. It follows the idea of alienating power of the stigma. Dimmesdale mark is a private mark, it's not public. He tried to bear the cross of his badge of shame alone, like clutching his sword. But in the Scarlet Letter, the A slowly shifts in meaning positively, and so it questions the society's ability to use symbols for ideological reinforcement, and it shows like the meaninglessness of the community system of judgment in the Puritan society. And what we thought might be overinterpreted, like Abel in the story of Cain and Abel is as the described as bright as the light, and the A shifts in the story to Abel. So it might be
far.
Maybe.
There is no such thing as overinterpretation.
Yeah, and then the color black, as I already said, is associated to Cain in the Bible. It is associated with the evil, sadness, confusion, and power, and the god Kropos, Greek god. He was the father of Zeus, a dictator, and yeah, he was considered an eternal evil of the gods. And black is also, or was associated with Hecate, a Greek goddess of magic, witchcraft, and necromancy. And she was shunned from the Mount Olympus by the gods themselves, though Mistress Hibbins was also killed for witchcraft, so it's another illusion. And as already said, it refers to the Bible as black as the color of
The devil baby.
Oh.
Don't miss the devil baby.
Yeah, and in the Scarlet Letter, black, we find often it's all about the black man as devil and Satan. The A is also referred from Mr. Sibbons as the black man's mark. And he lives in the forest, so outside of the society, and the forest contrasts the town and the civilization. It's unknown, the black shadow over everything what happens in there. And Chillingworth harvests his medicine in the wood is also interesting. And yeah, the black man lives there, and Hester and Dimmesdale plan to escape from there.